Hey, Star Nation, this is Frederic Aspiras, and you are listening to Star FM. It's all for you. Basta Radio Bombo.
Star Nation, we are back for a new episode of Star FM Exclusive. My name is Star DJ Gabby, and we will be joined by one of the leading artists in the fashion industry today. He is a longtime hairdresser for superstar Lady Gaga. He recently received a prestigious nomination at the Academy Awards for his work in House of Gucci. And he is our kababayan, exclusive on Star FM, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Oscar-nominated Filipino-Vietnamese hairstylist, Frederic Aspiras. Hi, Frederic. This is DJ Gabby. Welcome to Star FM. Hi.
Hi, Gabby. Hello, Star FM. Buhay. I am so excited to be on today.
Of course,
Very
we are.
honored.
As we are very happy to have you on the show. Of course, it's good to have you back in the Philippines, even virtually. Of course, so happy to be talking to you right now. Frederic, congratulations for the Oscar nomination for Best
Thank you.
Makeup and Hairstyling. We are so proud of you. We are celebrating this milestone with you,
Thank
of
you.
course. You shared a video of your reaction when the announcement came. So it's been over a week now. Has it sunk in yet that you are now Oscar-nominated hairstylist Frederic Aspiras?
Yeah, it has actually sunk in a little bit more because last week I was all nerves still and still in disbelief. But as the date comes near the Oscars, I'm trying to stay calm and try to stay positive. But more than anything, I feel very honored already that I've already achieved such a huge milestone for my community, for my heritage, and to be able to say that I'm the second nominated Asian American, and is such a high honor to me, and I am so full of gratitude.
Course, and we agree. I mean, this incredible milestone, this Oscar nomination, as you mentioned, is historic because this makes you only the second Asian to ever be nominated for the hair and makeup category. So you do know that you have set the standard so high for Asians in this field, and you are an inspiration. How do you feel about representing Asians in the field of hairstyling, especially with something as huge as the Oscars?
See, I think that it's quite a compliment that you said that I've set the bar, but I feel there has been so many Asians in this industry that who have came before me and who have done such beautiful work, and who deserve to be recognized by the Academy also for their work, such as Tim Boucheron. And obviously there's more of us out here, but I am very honored and happy to represent and be bring light to my community, because it's something that's super important. Misrepresentation of Asian characters in entertainment is quite damaging. I want to be able to, show, not just be a role model, but it just also be a positive role model of that, and that young Asian artists can make it in this industry without any obstacles. But of course, there's always going to be obstacles. Of course, there's always going to be challenges. Of course, there's always going to be your history and your past. But just as myself, my mother and father, we're both. My mother was a refugee from Vietnam, and father came as a military. But it's still, they came to the United States with hardly anything. And now that I look at all of these countries with war-torn histories and backgrounds, and now seeing a new group of, how do I say, in the most the more like refugees, it really saddens me because it
Mhm.
makes me think, makes you want to work harder, and makes me want to be that for a lot of people who are now going to have to face, you know, living up to a dream. But the dream can be definitely be accomplished. It's more about the work and more about your passion, really.
Mhm. Yeah, and of course, we agree. You are indeed a positive role model in this field, and of course, are talking about your work. You are nominated for House of Gucci. What was so special and unique about your work in the film than all your other projects?
Well, what made it so special is this project was one of the most in-depth masterclass of characterization that I have ever done as a hairdresser, as an artist. Anybody who's ever done film, who wanted to go into film, watch the film and study it, because what I did was really go into depth, not just of stereotypes of Italian women, but more about the culture and really studying and being honorable to Italian culture, Italian women, paying respects to that. So with my research, very in-depth research of what an Italian woman would look like, what she would be inspired by, I developed all my looks, all 54 hairstyles, which is for one character, which is very of huge, huge feat because it's a lot of work, a lot of preparation. And the movie takes place into 3 decades, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So there was a lot of room for error. So I didn't want to make that mistake. And I wanted to be clear to the actor, Lady Gaga, who played such a beautiful performance of Patrizia Reggiani. And I wanted her to really use what I developed and what I created, which was a 400 plus page directory of looks, detailing the hairstyle, the all the moods, the scene description, and all the hair inspiration, so that she can follow along and the director can follow along to create a very seamless progression of her looks. So that's what was so different and so unique, is that the amount of forensics that I had to create,
Mhm.
patching up missing photos, because you see Patrizia Reggiani is not a famous person. She's not an actress or a musician. She's just a regular woman who happens to have been involved in a crime. So you as the audience have to really be invested into her and really believe that that's what she looked like. So that's part of the movie magic, where that you had to create. I took the extra steps all during the time of COVID. I worked in this spot right here in my kitchen, making 15 wigs for 8-9 hours a day for 6 months before I left to go to Rome to film the movie. Needless to say, that was a lot of work, but it needed to be done. And most of the time, and all by myself, because of COVID restrictions, you are confined to work in your own spot. So I created this almost like this lab of my house of creativity and of hair, and it was interesting. It was such a challenge, and to not have your team of people to help me make 15 wigs and color it and dye it and make it. So it's so unique, and I don't think will ever happen again unless we go into another lockdown. But that's the difference, really.
Yeah, thank you for sharing about that. And of course, it had a lot of hard work, but it definitely paid off. Now, of course, I know that you were inspired by your mom, who was also a hairdresser, and I think you began at age 13. Before all of this, of course, before Lady Gaga, what struggles you face as an artist in the industry? Were there rejection as well?
All rejection all the time. That's how I became who I am. That's how you become stronger. I think if you got my mother, as much as she helped groom me, being that my mother was very hardworking, refugee from another country in the United States, and worked three jobs to save all her money to open up her hair salon in the early 90s, which is very uncommon for that to happen. Um, she was one of the first, like, what type of who came in here and created a business and created a name for herself in the hairstyling, in the hair industry. There is a lot of discredit that happens in the hair industry of Asians, but there is a huge contribution of Asians into the hair community, hair world industry, as you may say. So, of course, she didn't make it easy for me. Of course, she didn't make it simple for me. Of course, she gave me the hard lessons. So did my father, about how it is to work hard and to survive and to be successful in this world. But I wanted to take a step further. I didn't want to just limit myself to what society thinks Asian people can achieve in the world of entertainment. My father taught me how to sing, act, and dance. Obviously, as Filipinos, they love to sing. So I was a performer at such a young age. And then I had my mother who taught me how to do business and hair. And then they merged together to create this creative monster at such a young age. And I remember my mom saying that, I want you to take over the business. Like every Asian parent, they want you to work hard and take over the business and be, I didn't want to work at a hair salon. I wanted to change my directive. I wanted to change my path. I didn't want to just fall into the normal. I wanted to take a risk. And in life, sometimes you have to take risk when it comes to choosing something for yourself. When it comes to choosing, deciding what career paths to take, you have to try everything. You're going to fail at all of it, most all of it, but one of them is going to stick out. And that's what happened for me. I ended up moving to Los Angeles after I declined a big job opportunity that was in retail. And I moved there because I wanted to follow my dreams. I moved there with very little money and no financial support from my parents because they didn't have money. So she's like, this is all on you and you have to prove yourself. And that's what I did. I failed at, before social media, there was no, you had to bring your book and your show your work and do a lot of free jobs. That's what you have to do. You have to put in the work. A lot of people don't want to you can't just post something online and then not expect to do all the work after. When you get to that opportunity in life, which happened for me, I prepared myself since I was 13 years old, studying all the greats, studying all there is to know about the beauty industry, studied everything I had to do because I wanted to make a change for my life and and now I know I made a change for a lot of people's lives because I took a risk that paid off to help myself, my family, most importantly, but now I get to help a lot of other people's and I get to speak to you and to all your listeners to really not give up. And if you fail, guess what? Come on, do it again and do it again until you're perfect, until you're not, and perfection is not everything, but you have to keep doing it until you finally get to the point where you can stand there and be proud of what you do.
Of course. And you're very inspiring and your story is really has touched lives, of course. And as you mentioned, you have to risk things. You have to be somehow the change that you wish to see. And you've done that, of course. And of course, a lot of people are also asking, and a lot of our listeners are probably wondering how eventually landed as Lady Gaga's hairdresser. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So before working with Lady Gaga, I worked with Paris Hilton and I did a long period of that, 3.5 years. Before that, I worked in retail. I worked in doing cosmetics and hair because I needed to make money. We have to do it somehow. But then when I quit doing retail, I got a call from my agent, who's now my agent, asking me if I wanted to work with Paris Hilton. And at that time, it was very difficult for her and to get started and rebrand her. And she was such a beautiful heart and beautiful soul that I ended up staying with her for 3.5 years because she was such a hard worker. We traveled all around the world together. But one day we took a break and my agent called me again. And this is what happens in life. Sometimes you just have to let life happen. You don't force things. You don't try to achieve things. You just have it, and you have a prayer, you have a vision, you have a manifestation, whatever you want to call it. But this is what I wanted to do. And I just got a random call from my agent because, again, I worked so hard with Paris, creating all these looks with her that finally I got noticed by a bigger scale. You understand where I'm going with here? Is that finally her camp, she was just an emerging artist at the time. This was 2008, 2009.
Mhm.
And I just saw her on the VMAs, MTV VMA Awards. And at that time, she was just emerging and she wanted to start a very small tour called the Monster Ball Theater Tour. 2 months only. That's it. That was an easy job. I would just do it and leave. And because I was taking a break. So my agent was like, well, why don't you take a break and work with her? And I said, I rather not because I'm tired. I worked 3 years on the road. But I wanted to, at that time also, I wanted to try, I wanted to try more things than just working with just one person. I wanted to try different aspects of my creativity. And with a musician, I can do that because Paris is not a musician at that time. So I said, sure. And then that's when it happened. I started one day. I was asking if somebody knew how to do her hair for a tour. And I said yes. And we went on 2 months. And then right there, at the end of the 2 months, she became huge. She became Bad Romance just came out. And I have been on the road like a carnival, like we were like a circus, a circus act for 13, 15 years now, and nonstop. I have not, stopped. With her, she's not just a musician; she's a very multifaceted artist. But with that, again, as a hairdresser, I understood all the different sides of what she wanted. So I came prepared. I didn't just show up to the door and all of a sudden, oh, I like you. No, I had to really prove myself with her also. It's always going to be like that, always. What you have to do is prepare for yourself. And I prepared my entire life. Really, I have. I studied fashion. I studied music. I studied print work. I've studied red carpet looks. And I got myself to the point where I can provide what she needed on any stage. So that's what happens when you prepare in life you never know, a blessing might be around the corner for you, but you have to prepare. But if you're too stuck inside your head about how your ego, about why you failed and no one likes you, then you'll never be able to see those blessings.
And I definitely agree. Preparation is very important. You have to get to know, of course, who you're working for. And of course, right now, I believe that you are family. And, as her hairdresser, as part of her team, it must have been very rewarding to see how successful she became over the years. And while Lady Gaga was also making a name for herself worldwide, you were also accomplishing so much. I think I remember watching the video when she presented to you the hairstylist of the Year award at the 2019 LA Fashion Awards, and you were in tears. She was also almost in tears. And now for this Oscar nomination, she also gave you a message. She also posted her message on her social media. She is very proud of you. So what do you love most about Lady Gaga, your sister Lady Gaga, and what is something that people don't know about her?
I think what we provide for each other is respect. You have to understand that we're people, just people, artists and people, and we're both very creative and hardworking. And what I want to provide to the world through what I produce and my art is happiness and joy. And I believe that when I work with her, she works with me, that we both provide joy and happiness within each other. And with that type of relationship, it has flourished for 13, 14 years. And I can proudly call her family, because if I needed anything, she would definitely be there for me, and vice versa. And it's no stranger to anyone that how she feels about me and my, where am in my life and how supportive she is. I am very thankful for all of the support and the love and that I've received from her. And I am very, a relationship like that only happens if you as an artist are a good person and kind. And when I came into this business, I was faced with a lot of people that weren't kind to me and that weren't as supportive. And once you find your tribe and once you find your team, you should really cherish that, and that's an important thing. Of course, I won't be able to tell you things that people don't know, because it's family. I don't talk about family. I talk about I do what I do with her, and it's special. It's a special thing. And I think that we've both come to the point where I can actually proudly say where I've came and all the sacrifices that I've made in life and all my career thus far. I mean, I'm still very young and I'm still starting in my second movie, that I can proudly say that all those sacrifices, all those disappointments that I had, all those rejections I had really paid off at the end, because I believed in myself. I never stopped believing in myself. And you should always surround yourself with people that believe in you. I've had the fortunate, my mother and father taught me to always, be kind to people, and also to not only be kind to people, but also know how to protect your heart and to protect your spirit. Because, sometimes people cannot be kind. And in that case, you have to be the bigger person. But it's hurtful still. But I was fortunate enough to find my tribe, find friends who are supportive, find people that I work with who are supportive, who are now family. And, that's the kind of model that I want to be for people.
Of course, your friendship is very inspiring. It's a once in a lifetime friendship, and we are very happy for you. Of course, you've done incredible work with Lady Gaga, and we've seen that in photo shoots, performances, concert tours, music videos, and the films. Of course, so as an artist in your field, how does it feel to see your creation and art on the big screen or on large scale platforms be loved and appreciated by millions?
I never get used to it, because as artists we are always constantly being perfectionists, and I look at things sometimes and I try to see ways to prove what I can do, how I can do it, and grow and learn from that, in the most healthiest way. Obviously, I think most importantly, mental health is very important. So when I see things on screen of my work, or on pages of magazines, or on TV, I have to remind myself that I am still an artist, and I still have to treat my mind and myself kindly, and not to be hard on myself when I see things that I don't like about my work. So I appreciate the comments, and I appreciate the all the beautiful comments out there. And I am very, I look at all the work I used to do back, 20 years ago, and now I see how much I've come and grown. And that's the thing I want to do, is I want to continue to grow, and I want to continue to shine and continue to be a great representation for my community and for my family.
Of course, your art deserves all the love it gets. Now, the Oscars is happening on March 28th. What are your
Yes, it is.
preparations? Yeah, what are your preparations for this huge event?
I am on a diet, to be honest with you. I have to look good. I want to be able to go up there and be like, 20 years from now or 30 years from now, look at pictures and be like, yeah, I look great. And that's what I need to look like because I'm not tired. Because I'm telling you, working in these hours in film is long and it's tiring. And it people, all these hairdressers and makeup artists have put sacrifices hours and days of work and sleep to just produce a movie. So I want to make sure when I go there, I want to enjoy it. I want to be able to look, um, I want to be able to look back at those photos and be proud of it. And I'm going to bring my sister
Mm.
because I promised my mom whenever I get nominated back in the years when I was young, I would say, Mom, if I ever get nominated, I'm going to bring you. And fortunately, my mom passed away 6 months before filming the movie, so it was very difficult for me. But I'm proud to bring my sister as in her place and honor her and share some of this beautiful moment with her and my family.
Of course, we're going to be looking forward to this awards night on March 28th. And of
Yes.
course, you're going to be with family, your sister. And of course, speaking about family, let's talk about your heritage as a Filipino. I believe you last visited the Philippines some years ago during Lady Gaga's tour.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
can you share to us your favorite memory, your dad's hometown?
Oh, but my father was born in Batangas. Batangas. He's Pamphilo M. Aspiras. And, as a child, my father used to have wonderful stories. My father was a very, very talented storyteller. Um, and he used to tell me about all the beautiful food and all the beautiful, the nature and the beautiful ocean, beaches of Batangas. And he would talk about my uncles and my aunts and my grandmother and my grandfather, and how much he used to, my father was, when I was really young, used to shine shoes when he was really young and make money on all that. And then, got drafted into the war and came to Vietnam, and that's how he met my mother. So I was so emotional when I went back to the Philippines, well, for the first time, and it was during the Lady Gaga uh, um, Born This Way tour. And that time, unfortunately, my father passed away in 2007 of cancer. And right after that, I get again a blessing in disguise. I guess my father is also my guardian angel. That's when I started working with Gaga and with late Paris Hilton. And I finally got a chance to go back because I've been keeping myself so busy trying to, make it in this industry that when I went back, I got to visit his, I didn't get to see much family, but I got to see his homeland and I got to see his gravesite, and he was brought back home um, to his family, his hometown. So I hope one day that when I have time, that I get to go home to the Philippines and to visit Batangas, where he was again, and see some relatives and see where we grew up, because I only have stories and memories of my father, great memories. My father was a wonderful man. He taught me, he taught me how to be very kind. He was such a kind man and very beautiful heart. I learned how to be creative around him, to have such an imagination because of his stories. I have vivid imaginations because of the way he used to tell his stories, and I could dream about it. So when I go back home when I get to visit, I definitely will come visit at his hometown and see him again, because I do miss him. I haven't talked about my father for a long time because it's been hard. And now that I get to talk to, you know, you and Sorry FM about, him, it's bringing back memories. And I apologize for getting emotional, but I haven't really talked about it for a long time. So
Okay, we do understand, and of course, thank you very much for sharing, Frederic. We know you're very emotional right now, but we are very proud of you. I'm sure your father, your mom is
Thank
very
you.
proud of you with all those achievements. Now, of course, more than anything, or more than hairdressing and styling, of course, what were some of the best lessons? What are some of the best lessons from your mom?
You're trying to make me cry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's just, it's just fresh. My mom is, it's only been like a year. Um, the best lesson I've learned from her is to, which is the biggest thing I do all the time, is to listen to your heart. Listen to your heart, listen to the people that you touch, understand, have compassion for them. So when you meet people, you don't judge them and you treat them with love. And you take care of them. And I've done that with everyone I worked with, people in my life and friends. I'm proud of that being able to learning to understand people and talk to them and to, listen to them. And that's what I've learned so much from her. And most importantly, all of her hard work. She really did so much for us. I mean, gosh, my mom used to work 3 jobs and didn't go out anywhere, didn't buy new clothes, didn't take vacations ever. And I used to yell at her about that. It used to be so mad. Mom, why don't we just go to, retire and take a place? She was like, no, 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 no. And now I understand why. And it's because she wanted to do it for her children.
Okay. As
And she wanted to be her children to have all of the benefits that she didn't have. And so that's why it's so important to me to do representation for our Asian community, because I want to be able to give light to, you don't have to just be, and the industry is huge. There's possibilities are endless. Look at me. Who would have thought, and I worked my butt off through the whole time, but the whole time I worked with kindness and love and giving back to my family, giving back to people, because I feel good about that now at the end of the day. So that's what I learned from her.
Thank you for sharing about that. And of course, you have fulfilled your dreams. And I know, of course, as parents, their dreams are for us children to fulfill their dreams. So, yeah, thank you so much for that. Now, of course, that's very beautiful. Since you began your love for the art for hairdressing at a young age, if you can talk or send a message to your 13-year-old self right now, what would you tell him?
To my 13-year-old self.
Yes.
Oh boy, geez, they really are trying to make me cry. But 13 years old, I was just coming to terms with life, everything. And it was a very difficult time for me. I was very confused. I was not very happy with myself. And I would love to tell that person, that 13-year-old Frederic, to don't listen to what other people have to say about you, and don't worry about, trying to fit into the crowds, into the life of people, their life, and to really cherish the time you have with your family, because life is going to take you around the world many, many times, and you'll never get to see them very often. And it's very important to keep your family tight and to also be kind to yourself, because you're different. And being different doesn't mean you're not good, you're not worthy. Being different means you're special and you're beautiful just the way you are.
Frederic, you have inspired a lot of people with your work, your story. Thank you very much for that. Now, what is your message to your kababayans, to your fellow Filipinos listening and watching right now?
Yes. Well, I have to say I am very proud of. Well, first of all, I'm very honored and happy that I've been able to inspire so many young people out there, and I want to send a message to, don't give up. Just because life right now is difficult, life will then always be difficult. Take a time to reflect and to re-strategize if you have difficulties in your life. Learn to accept that sometimes if life doesn't go your way, you'll find a different way to do that. And I've done that. This is how I became, what they call the American dream. And it's because I took no for an answer. I didn't let anyone tell me who I am. I've always been Frederic Aspiras, the way I am. And don't let everyone tell you that. And honestly, explore the world, explore your options, and don't be limited yourself to anything. And one day you'll be sitting here talking to Michael right here, at, talking to Star FM and talking about your success too.
Okay, thank you for that message. Do you have an invite for our listeners to catch the 94th Academy Awards?
Oh, you want me to invite our listeners? Yes. So, Star FM listeners, don't forget to tune in on March 27th for the Academy Awards Oscar night to catch me, your first or your second Asian American, first Filipino ever be nominated for an Academy Award. I am proud to be there, and I hope you guys don't tune in to watch to see me walk the carpet, and hopefully I will take home the statue.
So we're going to be manifesting that. Let's claim it.
Oh, that's great. And if you don't, it's not the world. It doesn't mean the world. It just means, you've come so far and it's great. So either way, I'm still going to celebrate, and I'm going to, wear pride and be there representing. So.
Of course, whatever happens, we are so proud of you, Frederic. It's going to be a great night. Of course.
Thank you so much.
Of course, once again, congratulations to you, to the full team of House of Gucci. We will be rooting for you, and it's gonna happen. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much, Frederic. Now, Star Nation, that was Star FM exclusive with Oscar-nominated hairdresser Frederic Aspiras. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. That's 89.5 Star FM Baguio Philippines, or you can also follow us on Instagram. That's Star FM 895. Once again, my name is Star DJ Gabby, and this is Star FM exclusive. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.